We have been doing this series, do you have a special planet in your horoscope? And in that series we have done a number of planets. For example, we have talked about Venus, we have talked about Mercury, we have talked about Saturn, we have also talked about Sun. And in that series today we will be talking about one of the most feared, but something which is very enigmatic, something which is still not very well known, and there are many different explanations about the characteristic of this entity, about this energy, and one of the most potent energy, which is Rahu. So today we will be looking at, is Rahu a special entity in your horoscope, and what can make Rahu a special entity in your horoscope by virtue of what yogas it can be, what conjunctions it can be, what different energies it can showcase by virtue of placements, and also by virtue of which signs it is placed in. So firstly, Rahu and Ketu have been described as they can be yoga karakas, especially if they are in the trine houses. I have also done videos on some of these placements of Rahu and Ketu. So if Rahu gets into any of the trine houses, which is either the 5th or the 9th or even the Lagna, in some special consideration, then it can be stronger yoga karaka. So Rahu by itself can be a very strong energy, because Rahu tends to take on the energy, either adds to or borrows the energy of the planet which it is conjunct with. So Rahu alone can be a very good placement in the trine houses, especially the 5th and the 9th houses, and to an extent even in the Lagna. For example, if Rahu is placed in the 5th house, either with the natural ruler of the 5th house, which is Sun, but with a degree difference of between 8 to 12 degrees. So any conjunction of Rahu, as long as the conjunction of Rahu is with the other planet is between 8 to 12 degrees, it is a good conjunction, it is a good energy, provided you know how to use it. So if Rahu is placed alone or in a conjunction with a strong benefic planet or a natural ruler of the planet in a degree difference between 8 to 12 degrees, not less than 8 degrees and not more than 12 degrees, because every degree after 12 degrees makes the yoga or the conjunction weaker and weaker. Every degree lesser than 8 degrees means Rahu then eclipses the planet. So it should not be more than 12 degrees, because every degree more than the 12 degrees, which means that the conjunction is weaker, and every degree less than 8 degrees, which means Rahu will overwhelm the energy of the planet and the strong energy will not come forth through. Rahu will ensure that it will overpower the energy of the planet. So if Rahu is in the 5th house alone, it may be a good entity by itself, especially if it's in any of the friendly signs to it, or in those signs where it can give you good results. For example, Rahu in Aries, Rahu in Taurus, Rahu in Gemini, Rahu in Leo, Rahu in Virgo, Rahu even in Capricorn or Aquarius, and even in Pisces. In fact, very good in Pisces. If any of these signs is what Rahu is in the 5th house, it is a good placement, as long as there is no malefic aspect on it, there is no malefic conjunction on it. If it has to be in a conjunction, then Rahu in the 5th house with Sun, especially if it's in Leo sign or any sign friendly to the Sun, is a very, very powerful conjunction, as long as the degree difference between Rahu and Sun is between 8 to 12 degrees, no more. Then Rahu or Jupiter also in the 5th house, because Jupiter is the karaka of the 5th house. Again, in the signs which Jupiter is friendly in, or Jupiter gets exalted in, or its own signs, especially if the degree difference is 8 to 12 degrees, yet again it can be a special Rahu, special energy is given to it. Jupiter expands the energy of Rahu, Rahu expands the energy of Jupiter. So fantastic results can come by it in terms of investments, in terms of artistic ability, in terms of financial acumen as well, and also in terms of learning and education. Then Rahu or Sun in the 9th house, or Rahu or Jupiter also in the 9th house, in the same consideration. Degree difference should not be between less than 8 and more than 12, and in the signs where Sun is friendly or in own sign or exalted, or Jupiter is in friendly sign or in own sign or exaltation. So in these two houses, 5th and 9th houses, Rahu can be a special Rahu, especially if it's alone in the signs that I have noted earlier, or in conjunction, especially with Sun or Jupiter, with the riders that I have mentioned. Then again Rahu in the 5th house, but with moon, again with the same degree difference, but in friendly signs to moon or in Cancer sign. Especially if it's a Leo, then it can give great artistic ability, can make somebody a very good performer, especially artistic ability where the person can be a very good musician or can also be a good painter or dancer or even singer. And with Venus, this person can be somebody who can be a artist again, but somebody who's performing on the stage in front of an audience, especially for example artistic ability of the acting kind. Somebody is in front of the media, maybe in printed journalism or maybe a news reader, or somebody who's an artist, actor, can be a fantastic placement. Rahu with Mercury also in the 5th house, again with the degree difference of 8 to 12, friendly signs to Mercury or own sign or its exaltation sign of Virgo, can be a fantastic placement, can give you very good financial acumen, can give you a lot of wherewithal to make the right investments, and huge amount of money can also come into that person. Whereas in the 9th house, Rahu, especially for example conjunction with Moon and to a certain extent Mercury, can give good results, and maybe to a lesser extent with Venus with the same concentration. However, Rahu in any of these planetary placements in the 5th house can really be a boon. Whereas in the 9th house, Sun and Jupiter hold sway over the other planets, and to a certain extent maybe Moon. Then Rahu in the Kendra houses. One of the Kendra houses, the Lagna, you can also take as a trine house. So Rahu in the Lagna or Rahu in the 10th house can also be a fantastic placement, especially if it's alone in those signs which I have mentioned or in conjunction with a planet which is doing well in that sign, friendly or exaltation sign, again with the degree difference of 8 to 12 degrees. However, in the Lagna, it is better that Rahu is with a benefic, both a functional benefic as well as a natural benefic to that ascendant. And if, say for example, Rahu is placed with Moon in the Lagna with a degree of 8 to 12 degrees, this can be somebody who can do very well, especially if Moon is in friendly signs or own sign or exaltation such as Taurus. This can be a fantastic placement for somebody who is very good looking, can do very well as a model, can do very well in any of the artistic endeavors, can be somebody who is very well known for the artistic ability, for the ability to act maybe, but somebody who can be a great looker, somebody who can have a great screen presence, very good looking person, can also be a model. On the other hand, Rahu in the 10th house, again in friendly signs to Rahu, all those signs which I have mentioned, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Leo, Virgo, Capricorn or Aquarius, and even Pisces, Rahu can do very well as long as it is alone. If it has to be in conjunction with any other planet, it is better that Rahu is in the 10th house with Sun. Sun has the highest directional strength, and then with Mars. Now the challenge with Sun is eclipse, but 8 to 12 degree difference, it can be a strong synthesis of energies of Sun, and Rahu can give you fantastic gain. Rahu and Mars can also be a great placement in the 10th house, though it is an Angakaraka dosha, but again a degree difference, say for example 10 to 12 degrees or 30 degrees can be a fantastic placement. This can make somebody have a lot of hunger and greed, have a high motivation, and can make somebody so goal oriented that nothing can come between these people and achieving their goals. A truly killer instinct to be able to get their career goals. Rahu in the Upachaya houses can also be a very good placement. What are the Upachaya houses? The 3rd house, the 6th house, the 10th and the 11th house. So one Upachaya house or Kendra house, 10th house we already talked about. But if Rahu gets into the 3rd house, for example, in the sign of Gemini, so this can give somebody a very good ability to be able to use their communication skills with a touch of huge innovation, creativity. Somebody who is outstanding in their communication, very clever in their communication, knows how to market themselves, how to market their services, how to market their product that they are doing. This can be an excellent placement also to do your own business, especially if it's connected to any of those planets which do very well in the 3rd house. For example, Rahu with Mercury can make you excellent in advertisement, in marketing, in communication, on the social media, anything that you do on the social media, or doing something which is connected to the fingers. You can be a good musician, you can be a good writer, you can also be somebody who does something on the social media through which you get a lot of name, fame and success as well. Other than Mercury, Mars, which is the Karaka of the third house, can also do very well. Saturn, if it gets into the third house, this is a strong placement for somebody who will do it alone, which means after maybe initial working under somebody, this person will go it alone and will try and do something of his or her alone, as long as they have the inspiration to do that. And if Rahu is combining with Saturn with a degree difference of 8 to 12 degrees, this can be a very good placement. The challenge here is that you need to keep your patience, because Saturn will tend to slow down your energies, will slow down your movement, but Rahu will give you the hunger. So as long as you can contend with the patience perspective and keep the hunger alive, this can be a great placement. Then Rahu in the 6th house, especially in the sign of Virgo or in any of the other friendly signs, and with Mercury, can be a fantastic placement. This is the person who may be able to overcome all sorts of competition. Anybody tries to do anything against this person will have the tact, the diplomacy and the cleverness and the wherewithal to be able to ride roughshod over all competition. All those people who are hidden behind the back and trying to strike behind the back, whoever fights or contends with this person will lose, by the way, generally most of the time. So Rahu with Mercury can be a great placement in the 6th house, or even with Mars, because Mars is also the Karaka of the 6th house. So this is best for competitive exams or scoring over others. Rahu with Mars in the 6th house can make you a very well acclaimed sports person, a sports person par excellence, somebody who is a world beater. Then Rahu in the other Upachaya house, which is the 11th house. Here mass social gains can come to the person, social recognition can come to the person, especially if Rahu gets together with Sun, again with the degree difference of 8 to 12 degrees in between that, and in a sign which is friendly to Sun. Even better if it is Leo sign or Aries sign where Sun gets exalted. This can be a mass leader, somebody who will be able to have the influence over a multitude of masses, and this can also be somebody who can be a supremely successful politician as well. This can also do, a person with Rahu in the 11th house can also do very well, especially with Jupiter, because Jupiter is also the Karaka of the 11th house. This person can be somebody who is seen as a guru, as somebody who is a master, somebody who is a very learned person. So the person can have sway over masses because of the person coming across as a guru, coming across as somebody who has an expertise in that field. So somebody who can be a guru in an ashrama, but somebody who can also be an expert, a guru. For example, somebody who is a strategic head in a multinational corporation, a big company, can also be this person. Or somebody who is heading a marketing division in a large corporation, which is, say for example, an IT firm, which has its tentacles and its presence and branches all over the world. Rahu even in the 11th house with Saturn can also be a good placement, as long as it is in Aquarius, to a lesser extent maybe in Capricorn, but it can be a fantastic placement in the sign of Libra. The challenge here is that the person should be able to know how to balance relationship, because Libra is the sign of relationship, rather than trying to extract every ounce of success from them, every ounce of favors from them, but try to keep the relationship intact. Saturn will give you the patience, but you have to control the energy of Rahu. If Rahu and Saturn are in the either Capricorn sign, to a large extent much successful in Aquarius, but fantastic in the sign of Libra. This is also fantastic placement, especially for business people who have the patience to keep going over a period of time, want to develop their business, and are patient to work over a period of time to get success. Once you get that success, nobody is able to take it away from you. Similarly, even in the 11th house, Rahu with Venus, especially either in Taurus sign or Libra or Pisces. Rahu with Venus and Pisces can make you such an acclaimed artist that people will line up to meet you, line up to see your performances, will line up to buy tickets to your performances, or to invest in your company, or just to have a glimpse of you, or to meet you. If you're performing in a stadium like somebody who is an artist, who is a singer, or somebody who's a speaker, lots of people will line up just to listen to you and want to be with you, or want to just be mesmerized by your performances. Such can be the magic that Rahu and Venus can come together in the sign of either Libra or in Pisces sign, especially in the sign of Pisces where Venus gets exalted in the 11th house. Rahu even in the 8th house can be a blessing, can be a special Rahu, but this has a limited potential and maybe to a selective group of people. For example, those people who are involved in research oriented work, or alternate healers, or those people who are, say for example, astrologers, or those people who are paranormal writers, fictional writers, movie makers, for all these people Rahu can give excellent result if Rahu is in the 8th house, especially in those signs which I have mentioned. But Rahu can do very well even in Scorpio, or Rahu can do wonders in the sign of Pisces. Especially in the sign of Pisces, Rahu gives one of the best results, almost deity-like results. And if Rahu gets into the 12th house, especially in Pisces, this can be a fantastic placement for foreign land success, business success in foreign lands or with foreign clients, working in MNCs, working in foreign companies and with foreign consultants or clients, and doing very, very well. And this is the best placement for Rahu in the 12th house if it's in Pisces, especially if it's conjunct with either Venus or with Jupiter in the 12th house, especially at the degree difference is 8 to 12 degrees. So once again, Rahu in any of these houses, any of these conjunctions can do very well, especially if the degree difference is between 8 to 12 degrees, and if it's in any of these signs, which is Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Leo, Virgo, Capricorn or Aquarius, and best placement for Rahu can be in Pisces. So friends, check in which sign and which houses your Rahu is, and if Rahu is become a special Rahu which the zodiac has given you by virtue of Rahu being alone in any of these signs, especially in the trine houses or the Kendra houses or even the Upacha houses, or in conjunction with a degree difference of 8 to 12 degrees, again with no malefic aspect, no malefic doshas, and that is the strongest rider. There should be no malefic aspects on Rahu, there should be no malefic conjunctions, malefic in the sense it should not be a functional malefic for that ascendant, then Rahu can give you fantastic results. Even if it's a natural malefic, but if it's a functional benefic, and if it's placed on good signs related to the malefics, friendly signs or own signs, especially if it's a functional benefic, then it can give you fantastic results. So friends, deep down check if your Rahu is a special Rahu, and if it is, extract the most from that special Rahu as that the zodiac has given you, and enjoy the success par excellence for you, because that is the reward directly given by the Supreme Entity. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the link given below. Till some other time with some other video, this is the friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.